Morty, why?
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the Rick and Morty demises that are gruesome, disturbing, or just downright shocking. Spoilers ahead, obviously.
I can feel! I have mass!
Number 20, Vance Maximus. Granted, you could lump 4/5 of the Vindicators into this entry, but once their leader Vance went down, we knew the others would be following suit.
Rick, is this a saw thing? Are you seriously sawing the Vindicators?
Morty, I'm a drunk, not a hack. You break the rules, lose the game, or try to leave, you will die. Like in... Saw.
Morty's favorite intergalactic team of superheroes, the Vindicators get a rude awakening when it's revealed that Rick dispatched their villain on a drunken bender. Not only that, but Rick also set up a Saw-esque game to knock them down a peg or two. Vance, acting like most victims in the Saw movies, shows his true colors when faced with death and tries to flee.
This is triggering me. I need space. I need space from this!
Unfortunately for him, the air duct he chooses has been made into a trap, which promptly executes him. Such a hilariously unceremonious exit for such an overhyped hero. Number 19, Top Hat Jones. We're used to wacky characters popping in and going out in horrendous ways, but this one hits us right in the childhood.
Strawberry Snickles! Ooh, I hope nobody ever gets my hands on me and tries to steal my Strawberry Snickles. I'm gonna eat every last one of them and then they'll be in my stomach and nobody will ever be able to eat them.
A clear parody of the Lucky Charms mascot with a dash of Trix the Rabbit. Top Hat Jones is the selfish spokesman for the cereal brand Strawberry Snickles. Rick and Morty catch the commercial on interdimensional cable, but it goes way darker than the ads in our dimension when those pesky kids finally track down Top Hat. Undeterred by the fact that Top Hat has already eaten the cereal, the kids coldly pin him down and eviscerate him, retrieving the Smiggles in the most direct way possible.
Jeez, Rick, oh my god! That's some pretty hardcore stuff for a cereal commercial.
Well, Morty, you want to sell boxes of cereal, you gotta pump the gas a little. Pedal to the metal, Morty.
From now on, we think we're rooting for the Lucky Charms leprechaun. No reason. Number 18, Cropos Michael.
Well, hi, Morty. I'm Cropos Michael. I'm an assassin. I buy guns from your grandpa.
Most contract killers keep their chosen profession hush-hush, but this alien assassin is a bit of an oddball. What with his business cards, social media accounts, and constant talk about his love of killing. As is to be expected, not everyone agrees with his line of work, namely Morty. The idealistic youngster sets out to keep Cropos Michael from fulfilling his latest contract, only to accidentally run him over. Seeing this top-tier assassin get crushed by a kid who doesn't even know how to fly is shocking, but that just makes it funnier.
You have arrived at Cropos Michael.
What's even more funny is the fact that he's not even the last guy Morty kills in this episode. Number 17, Miles Knightley. Do yourself a favor, never cross Rick Sanchez, because even when he doesn't mean to, his super smarts might still get you killed. An aesthetic cross between Freddie Mercury and the DC villain Sinestro, Miles Knightley becomes Rick's one-time rival in the art of heisting. Nothing in this episode is as it seems. And since Rick always needs to exceed expectations, he reveals that he's already incepted everyone attending HeistCon, which he plans to heist itself.
Sanchez is 3,329?
Yes.
Your next big score? Steal every square inch of HeistCon.
Rick orders his zombie-like crew to steal everything, and since Knightley is the host of HeistCon, that includes him too. Instead of simply picking him up and walking away though, the crowd savagely picks Knightley apart with their bare hands. We don't remember that part of the Ocean's movies.
Look, Morty, I did not know that was gonna happen. That's not on me. Come on, Morty, let's go.
Number 16, ZigZag. We can see why Morty would want to forget this event. In the Morty's Mind Blower episode, we see a memory where a Floop-Floopian named ZigZag finds Rick and asks him to kill him.
So you're gonna kill him?
Let's get some lunch first.
You see, Floop-Floopians believe they will transcend to a very pleasurable afterlife as long as they're killed by a great warrior. Like Rick, apparently. But Morty questions ZigZag's faith with a lack of concrete evidence, making the latter back out at the last minute.
All right, so you want to do this here or outside?
Run!
He flees Rick like his afterlife is at stake, only to get flattened by a car. It turns out the Floop-Floopians are right, however, and ZigZag's soul is subsequently dragged by demons to a hellish eternity.
Oh God, it's all real! Oh, it hurts! Oh, I shouldn't have doubted it! I shouldn't have let you make me doubt it! Oh, I blame you! I blame you!
Number 15, Davin.
I love being in that sterilized room, sealed off from the world. It's the only time I can really think and feel.
Davin might be a minor character, but he is one handsome horse surgeon. Since he works alongside Beth, he's constantly hitting on her and making Jerry jealous. Fortunately, we guess, Davin quickly falls out of love with Beth and in love with Morty thanks to a love serum created by the youngest Smith. But don't worry, Davin soon transforms into a mantis monster due to the serum's antidote. Jerry naturally sees this as his one chance, so he kills Davin with a crowbar and a terrible joke.
You're not Morty.
No, I'm Mr. Crowbar, and this is my friend, who is also a crowbar.
And we gotta be honest, it's really cool seeing this side of Jerry. It's just too bad we don't get to see badass Jerry again for quite some time.
Looking for this?
What are you doing with that?
It stinks of Rick.
Number 14, the Zerians.
Sir, we have a situation over here.
If there's a wiener on that monitor, I swear to God, Stu.
When you've got something of value, people are going to try to take it from you. At least that's the lesson we learned from the Zerians. With a name that is clearly a play on those Nigerian email scams, these aliens are out to get Rick's recipe for concentrated dark matter. Believing they've managed to trick him, these aliens celebrate by making a batch of the dark matter in front of everyone and blow themselves up in the process.
Oh, this is going to be such a mindfuck!
In an episode full of twists, the biggest surprise is that we thought Rick was being played, but the Zerians were the true victims. Number 13, alien parasites. This is kinda cheating, but come on, you expect us to choose between Pencilvester and Sleepy Gary? In the episode Total Recall, an alien species invades the Smith home, multiplying by creating false memories in people's minds. We obviously know who's who, but then we didn't have our brains altered, did we? Fortunately, Morty manages to figure it all out, so he and Rick grab a veritable arsenal of weapons to take care of these pests. It is kick-ass to see the Smith family go all out, but also hilarious to see them remembering horrible things about their family.
Oh my God, are you drunk?
Woody, my wife, coach.
You're what? Oh, God!
Oh my God.
Too bad this universe's Jerry didn't rise to the occasion to be part of the action, though. Number 12, Roy Parsons. Technically, Roy Parsons doesn't exist and so doesn't actually die. But since this bit has us questioning what real is, we're counting it anyway. In this episode, Rick takes Morty to the coolest intergalactic arcade ever, Blips and Chits, and sits him down to a hyper-realistic VR game.
Roy, what's wrong?
I had a nightmare. I was with an old man. He put a helmet on me.
It's just a fever. Get some sleep. I don't want you missing school on Monday.
Essentially, Roy, a life well lived, is like experiencing someone else's life in what's perceived to be real time. In the span of a minute, we watch Morty live a lifetime as Roy as he becomes a football star, starts a family, settles into an unglamorous job, and beats cancer, only to die in a completely mundane and avoidable fashion.
Oh, what the hell? Where am I?
55 years. Not bad, Morty. You kind of wasted your 30s, though, with that whole bird-watching phase.
Where's my wife?
Morty, you were just playing a game. It's called Roy. Snap out of it. Come on.
Morty's reaction to returning to reality has us questioning the nature of our own every time. Number 11, Evil Rick. We'd call Rick a lot of things, but nice guy ain't one of them. Same goes for most of his alternate selves.
Dad!
Rick! Everybody relax. If I know these a-holes, and I am these a-holes, they just want to haul me to their stupid clubhouse and waste my time with a bunch of questions.
Yet there are versions of Rick that are more evil than the one we know so well. Our Rick and Morty set out to stop Evil Rick after he captures many of the other dimension's Mortys. And they ultimately succeed, with an army of Mortys beating Evil Rick to death. Our relief is short-lived, however, because Evil Rick is soon revealed to be a cyborg controlled by an evil Morty. Number 10, King Jellybean. This series dives into some very dark territory. Case in point, in the episode Me Seeks and Destroy, Morty's adventure just keeps getting worse. But when a friendly Jellybean tries to help him calm down, things seem to be looking up. Until that Jellybean tries to assault him. Thankfully, Morty escapes, but he's left exhausted and traumatized. Rick figures out what happened, but the two continue their adventure anyway, ultimately ending up in a village where the leader is the Jelly Bean. As our titular characters leave through a portal, Rick shoots the king, causing him to explode and causing us to cheer. For once, a Rick and Morty death that results in a happy ending. Number 9. Party Mascot. Speaking of Rick and Morty destroying our childhoods, in this episode, a burnt-out Rick and Morty go to an alien spa and have all their literal toxicity removed. The trouble is, their toxic selves are just as autonomous as their regular selves. Well, at least toxic Rick is, which makes him incredibly dangerous. Together, toxic Rick and Morty escape their toxic stronghold and concoct a plan to toxify the whole world. It works, and we eventually cut to a children's birthday party where the entertainer removes his costume and steps on the kids' innocent reality.
Santa Claus isn't real.
In turn, the kids rip him to shreds with their bare hands. But wait, it gets worse! They're eventually turned back to normal, and they are more than traumatized. Us too. Number 8. Lisa. Alien technology may be vastly different, but at the end of the day, kids are still kids. That is, until things go horribly wrong. Here, Rick takes Jerry to a fancy resort on another world that's protected by an immortality field, meaning anything that happens at the resort is consequence-free, as anyone killed is instantly regenerated. With a lack of stakes, everyone there treats mortality as a fun game, including a brother and sister duo who playfully kill each other.
Okay, but still, bad parenting.
Hey, rich a-holes are rich a-holes. They all pay top dollar to come here and enjoy a consequence-free vacation. No death, no disease, no dismemberment. Can't even have a heart attack.
Of course, things go wrong and the immortality field is disabled. Immediately after, we see the brother kill his sister Lisa like before, only this time, she doesn't come back.
Lisa?
Oh, the childhood trauma. Number 7. Space Cruiser Kills. Obviously, Rick's space cruiser is highly advanced for being what he essentially uses as a car. Too advanced, as this B-plot shows.
Keep Summer safe!
Keep Summer safe.
By locking Summer in the cruiser and giving it the directive to keep Summer safe, Rick inadvertently gives the vehicle carte blanche to do just that in the most permanent way possible. The cruiser starts by dicing a stranger to pieces, but even when Summer commands it not to kill, the cruiser still comes up with horrifying ways to deter aggressors. It leaves another man paralyzed before utilizing emotional warfare on the responding police force. It resurrects a dead cop's son, only to take him away again by reducing him to goo. It may not be a death, but we're still counting it.
All of you have loved ones. All can be returned. All can be taken away. Please step away from the vehicle. Keep Summer safe.
Number 6. Jerry Smith. This show makes it clear that anything goes, including sending its core characters off in brutal fashion, even if it's only temporary. But that doesn't make it any less shocking when it happens. Speaking of B-plots, this one sees Jerry being selected to save the life of an alien civil rights leader, Shrimply Pibbles, by donating his,
Take my penis. Take it all! And tell Shrimply Pibbles that when the galaxy came calling, Jerry Smith from Earth didn't flinch.
Jerry initially agrees, but starts having second thoughts with his fragile male ego being so tied to his manhood. Jerry gets out of it at the cost of his reputation, but when it's revealed that Shrimply Pibbles can be saved by other means, Jerry demands the procedure at gunpoint, only to be blasted by security. But since he's in an alien hospital, 'tis but a scratch.
Was it all a dream?
No, you were shot like 50 times.
57. Thankfully, you're in a super sophisticated alien hospital, so it was basically like getting a splinter removed.
Number 5. Birdperson.
Tammy, I was approaching infertility when I met you, but there is still time. I am yours until my death.
In case you haven't noticed, Rick's number one goal in life is not to make friends. In fact, there are very few people that he truly cares about and considers buddies. But Birdperson is one of those lucky few. Rick and his old pal happen to be wanted by the Galactic Federation, making Birdperson's wedding to Tammy all the more risky. Unfortunately, because Birdperson lets his emotions cloud his judgment, he gets killed by his new lover.
Sit your bird ass down!
Tammy?
This is actually a heartbreaking death because Birdperson is such a passive character. And it's even harder to take because we see Rick lose it.
Birdperson! No!
Thankfully, this isn't the last we see of Rick's avian ally.
I am Phoenix Person.
Phoenix Person. Is that what we settled on? I thought we all agreed on Cyberbird.
Number 4, Lighthouse Chief.
If you desire to kill me, I only ask you to do it quickly.
When Rick plans an escape from the Purge planet, Morty is forced to listen to a terrible screenplay by the Lighthouse Chief, who doesn't take kindly to Morty's comments.
No, I'm sick of this. You bang on my door, you beg me to help you, I share something personal with you, and you take a giant shit on it.
Unable to take the pressure anymore, Morty pushes the Chief down a flight of stairs, killing him. As we've already seen, this is not the first time Morty has killed someone, but it is the first time he killed an innocent. To be honest, it's pretty surprising to see Morty like this, and it only gets worse as he then goes on a bloody rampage. We gotta say, the possibility of this side of Morty resurfacing is a pretty terrible thought. Number 3, Rick Sanchez and Morty Smith. After our favorite mad scientist accidentally creates an epidemic of Cronenbergs, all hope seems lost. But Rick assures Morty that he's got one last trick up his sleeve, and it seems to work. The world gets back to normal and we see the two finally working on Rick's new invention, only to be blown up in a horrific explosion.
1 screw turn, and 2 screw turns, and...
Just as we begin to process our shock, we see our Rick and Morty pop in. Morty, terrified at the scene, is forced to bury his own corpse and realizes that he's living with a family that technically isn't his own. This is Rick and Morty brand existentialism at its best. Sad, terrifying, and haunting to both Morty and us.
It's still raining up here.
Number 2, Fart. Fart is a gaseous being that Morty saves from alien assassin Cropos Michael, so named thanks to an insult once thrown at it by Rick.
Oh, good job, Morty. You killed my best customer, but you saved a mind-reading fart.
A powerful entity, Fart can piece together atoms to create any form of matter, including gold, and it can influence other entities. Morty questions his decision to save Fart throughout his journey, but ultimately leads him back to his portal. Of course, in a juicy bit of irony, it's at this very moment that he discovers this thing intends to return and destroy all carbon life. Heartbroken and realizing his mistake, Morty kills Fart, marking an important moment in the youngster's life.
Morty, why?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Hologram Rick. This episode starts with the brutal accidental death of Rick, and yet that is peanuts compared to where it ends. Rick's consciousness then bounces around other realities, being continuously resurrected in other versions of himself. And while we're on the subject, Larva Mr. Goldenfold being eaten alive by wasp versions of the Smiths is also horrifying.
Can you pass the acid?
Run, my baby!
Bonus!
Meanwhile, a sentient hologram of Rick tries to get Morty to revive him. A bunch of plot mechanics too complicated for 125 words later, and hologram Rick gets assimilated by Morty's symbiote thing and becomes a corporeal vengeful god. But it's short-lived as Wasp Rick stings him in the eye, causing his face to swell and bloodily birth hundreds more Wasp Ricks. The things the writers think up.
Hey, sorry I didn't listen to you and tried to kill the whole world and stuff. Guess I gotta learn how to live in the moment a little more.
Any crazy Rick and Morty deaths we missed? Riggity-riggity-wreck us in the comments.
I noticed you never finished your chimichanga, so I got some room for it now, if you know what I mean.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.